Hey everyone! This week I took Team Rocket's Mewtwo to a tournament and did pretty well. One of my losses is due to a huge game-losing mistake I made, so look forward to the games because we'll be going over that one especially. As for the deck list, we'll start off with the one-ofs. We got one of Articuno, one of Mimikyu, and one of Wobbuffet. The Articuno is to help against the effects of attacks like Dragapult's main attack, being able to stop them from doing any damage to your basic Pokemon on the bench. The Mimikyu is also really good into Terra types because as long as your opponent's active Pokemon is a Terra Pokemon, you can copy their attack and be able to use it against them. The Wobbuffet is in here for Rocket Mirror, being able to fully heal up one of your Mewtwo EXs and still do a ton of damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. As for our main go-tos, you have 3 copies of Mewtwo EX, which can hit for up to 280 damage in a single swing. And then you have Spidops, which allows you to be able to constantly get energy from your trash and put it onto itself to fuel up your Mewtwo EX attack. But Spidops is also our second best attacker, being able to hit for huge numbers with its Rocket Rush attack. As for the trainers, we are running our A-Spec as Secret Box. It's really good in this deck, being able to get everything that we could need because our supporters are so strong. As for our supporters, we are running 4 copies of Giovanni, 4 copies of Ariana, and then 2 copies of Archer and 2 copies of Proton. We only ever need 1 Proton each game, and the Archers come in every now and again as just a free way of stopping our opponent from having a huge hand. We are also running 1 copy of Iono for that same reason, and 1 copy of Countercatcher just in case they get a knockout first. We are running 4 copies of Transceiver, 4 copies of Factory, as these are just the 2 strongest Team Rocket cards that exist. Transceiver finds all of your supporters, and Factory gives you 2 cards every time you use a supporter. And we are running 2 copies of Bravery Charm. These come in clutch all the time, being able to turn your Mewtwo EX into a 330 HP monster. And I sometimes throw it onto a Mimikyu if I can't find Articuno in the Dragapult matchup to be able to keep it safe as well. As for the energy count, we are running 4 copies of Team Rocket's energy and 7 copies of Grass energy to make sure that we can get the Spidops to be able to attack more often than not, so that way then we can constantly be able to hit for 280 with the Mewtwo or hit for huge numbers with Spidops in certain matchups. As for the tournament itself, this is the run that I had. We started off real strong with 2 wins against a Porygon Z and a Mono Dragapult. And then immediately we lost to a Dragapult Charizard, which was a very tough matchup. There's things that I probably could have done better in this matchup, but overall they had a really strong board and they just started off real strong as well. We lost to a Zoroark, which this will be a matchup that we go over because this is the game-losing mistake match. And then we also lost against Gardevoir, which this Gardevoir just had everything. They had Secret Box on the first turn, they had Earthen Vessel to go with it. They ended their first turn with a full bench of Pokemon, and they were able to TM Evo that same turn as well because they were going second. So overall though, I think that the deck is really strong. If you are looking for a Team Rockets deck that you really want to play, or just a rogue deck that is pretty good into most matchups, I highly recommend Mewtwo. It's a little bit more difficult and higher skill ceiling than some of the other rogue options out there, but if you actually practice and play it, you could probably do far better than even I did. So without further ado, we will be going on to the games, but before that, please leave a comment and hit that subscribe. It helps a lot, and hit those like buttons too, because they also help a ton as well. So now we'll go on to the games. Alright, so the first game I got for you guys is the Mono Dragapult one. That way then you guys see just how the Mewtwo deck can handle different meta decks. Specifically the Dragapult, which I think that we are pretty favored into a decent bit of the Dragapults. It's primarily just the Dragapult Charizard that we kind of struggle against a lot. And here, our opening hand isn't really the greatest. It's decent, but we're definitely trying to find one of our supporters so we can try to get more Pokemon down. One of the downsides to the Team Rocket's Mewtwo is that its ability, in order for us to attack with the Mewtwo, we have to have at least 4 other Team Rocket Pokemon on our bench in order to be able to swing. But other than that, our hand actually, or our field actually isn't too terrible. You know, we still at least get a Spidops down. We have the Articuno, which is one of the bigger problem pieces for us to get as well. Here we find an Ariana, which is perfect because now we can empty our hand real quick and then we get to draw 8 fresh cards. We find 2 more for our Spidopses. We get to put down this Bravery Charm as well. And then we are off to the races. So here, the goal, once you get to this point, is you just want to focus on the Dracloaks or any of their Dreepies or Dracloaks that have energy on them. You want to get rid of those special energy attached Pokemon as fast as possible. So Giovanni is going to be your biggest friend in this matchup as well. And you're really going to want to try to get down your Mimikyu, so that way then you can combo it with your Giovannis as a free retreater, or you can even combo it with just being able to swing with a Team Rocket's energy and be able to copy the Dracloak's ability. So here they counter catcher up our Articuno. They're trying to force us to have to waste another energy in order to be able to attack this turn. And they also just gave us their Dreepy that doesn't have any energy either, so that way then, in case we can attack, they can just not have to have too many consequences to it. They do just decide to evolve it into a Dracloak, and here we draw the Nest Ball, which is perfect. So we first go into our Spidops, then we're going to get this Mimikyu down. We can manually attach this Team Rocket's energy so we don't have to worry about drawing into it later. And then we're just going to Giovanni up our Spidops, so that way we can get rid of this Dracloak. The reason why we didn't put up our Mewtwo is because I want to make sure that the Mewtwo can take a hit later on, and most likely I was thinking that they were going to be on the A spec of the Neo upper energy, and because that's what most of the mono Dragapults are running right now, that plus the Hilda to be able to search it out, which here they find it, and then they had the way to get to the Dragapult. But they do just go straight into pulling up with the counter catcher our Mewtwo. And they try to put some damage on our Mimikyu, but the Articuno just completely stops it. Now then, the smart thing, if you are the Dragapult in this situation, is to throw the damage onto the Spidopses, because the Articuno only protects basic Team Rocket Pokemon. It doesn't protect all Team Rocket Pokemon. So here, I'm just going to swing. I am going to take I'm going to take 2 energy off right there. The reason being that I just take the 2 and put it down to 280 is because I know that they have a Monkey Dory right there, so they can attach a dark energy to it. They can take off some damage. We can still get a knockout with the Mimikyu anyway, but I kind of want to limit how many options they have of getting it healthy enough that they can get it to survive. So here they Hilda, they do get a dark energy, and now they're going to be able to start moving some damage around. And they also have the Jamming Tower, which doesn't really help them too much into this matchup. It can come in clutch every now and again, but for the most part, we just have a very high 280 health basic Pokemon that's really difficult for them to get rid of. So here we just promote the Mimikyu. We will be attacking with it this turn, but first we're going to play down our Mewtwo EX, attach our Team Rocket energy, and then I'm just going to Ariana, and then attach the Bravery Charm, and now I get a free draw 2 with the Factory and a Stadium Bump. And then here it's just attaching some of the grass energy from Grave to our Spidops. I want to leave 1 grass energy in there specifically so I can attack with the Spidops next turn if need be, to be able to keep my Mewtwo EX healthy again. So here we get another 2 prizes, and at this point they've already went through 3 Dreepies, 3 Dracloaks, and 1 of their Dragapults, so they do Iono us, but we do find a Giovanni right off the top, and they counter catcher up our Articuno again. So here they're just healing a little bit, and they're going to be able to knock out this Mimikyu. So there's nothing that we could do to really stop that. And at this point, it is pretty much just game over for them. There's nothing that they can really do. They're not going to have enough time to be able to get another Dragapult set up. And they've already been through a lot of their energy too. So they still need to take 3 whole prizes in order to win. So here they just pass the turn. And we're just going to Giovanni. That way then, I mean, we could just manually attach this Team Rocket's energy and just retreat that way, but I'd rather use the Giovanni so I can draw 2. And then I'm just going to get the grass from Grave, manually attach a grass to the Team Rocket's Mewtwo, and then we're going to be able to knock out this Monkey Dory. And at this point, we only need 1 prize in order to win. So even if they were to somehow miraculously get a Dragapult right now, which they can't, but if they were able to, we would still be able to knock it out in 2 hits, and they wouldn't have been able to take enough prizes within that time anyway. So this is definitely what you want to do in this matchup if you are going to play the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. And overall, I do think that this is one of our more favorable matchups in ways, as long as we can get a decent start. Alright, so here is game number 2, and this is the one that I made that huge game losing mistake in. So as you can see, my opening hand is perfect. It's what we want. We got the transceiver, so we got the Proton. We're able to get a full bench. We get the Articuno, we get the Mimikyu, we get another of the Tarountulas, and then we have the Earthen Vessel, so we can get rid of a grass, get 2 more grass here, manually attach to the Mewtwo, and then we still have the Nest Ball, but we're going to save the Nest Ball. The reason why we're saving the Nest Ball is for the Ultra Ball, so we can actually Ultra Ball away the Nest Ball plus the grass energy to be able to get a Spidops and get that up and running. So we can one-shot all of their Zoroarks with our Spidopses in this matchup, and then just save our Mewtwo as something that we can use later on to also one-shot a Zoroark if need be. So that's kind of the whole gameplay that I'm looking at right now of like how I want to do this. So here we find a Night Stretcher. So what we're going to do is we are going to Ultra Ball, and I'm just going to get rid of the Nest Ball plus the Night Stretcher. We're going to get a Spidops. We're going to place that down, and then we're just going to Giovanni's one of their Zoroarks up right now. We can manually attach, and then because we have a grass in the grave, we're now able to swing for 300 because we have 4 benched Team Rocket's Pokemon. So we're hitting just enough to be able to do that. And then look at that, we find a Ariana and a Spidops off of our prize cards, which is huge. That's exactly what we want in this situation, because now we can get our other Tarountula up and running, and then we have the Ariana to be able to draw 7 more cards next turn. So here they Earthen Vessel away a bomb, and they can now attach manually if they have the item card, the Ends Capsule. Then they're definitely going to be able to swing this turn because they're going to Codebreaker here. So they could do those two on top, they could put the capsule plus a Reshiram on top, guaranteeing that they can swing this turn, and they can get rid of one of my Spidops by that. They could also just put another Zoroark up on top as well and just try to draw into some more answers. But it looks like they have the Ins PP up, and they have the energy switch. There's the Reshiram, and then they have the counter catcher to go with it, so they're going to be able to one-shot our Mewtwo. But we are still looking really good right here. So here we draw into a Proton. So I decide to Ariana here. We do find a Mewtwo, but this is where the big game losing mistake comes into play. If you count how many Team Rocket's Pokemon I currently have on the field, I'm only doing 240 damage. I should have benched the Mewtwo, even if it was going to get one shot later on. Because I didn't, that gives them the avenue to get back into the game, because I should have been down to only 2 prize cards remaining, so I could easily just get rid of another Zoroark and they would be unable to have a chance of winning the game because of that. They would have to go into the Duramitan, but even then, like, we would be able to take it out with the Mewtwo. So I definitely... That's the big game-breaking mistake. Don't be like me. Make sure that you look at how much damage your attacks are doing and calculate it correctly. In my brain, I was thinking I was doing more than enough damage. That's the reason why I just went through it like that. I should have looked, but yeah, I ended up making that mistake. Here, they knock out that Spidops. We are going to have to throw this other Spidops up now, so at this point, there's a couple things that I really need to do if I want to still have a chance of winning this game. So I'm going to have to bench this Mewtwo. I'm going to have to attach this energy. And I need to draw into another grass energy. And I also need to draw into a Proton. Well, no, I don't need the Proton anymore because we can bench this Tarountula. The Spidops is getting knocked out. But if they have the Duramitan here, then they're also going to be able to knock out the Mimikyu. Yeah, so they have the Duramitan. So they're going to be able to knock out 2 cards this turn, putting them down to only 1 prize remaining. So I need to put down this Tarountula. I need a... So that leaves me 2 benched, and then Nest Ball puts me at 3. So there's just no real way that I'm going to be able to attack this next turn and be able to attack for enough anyway to be able to one-shot the Zoroark. So that's what I mean, is like, if we did it the correct way, if we looked at our damage, we would have one-shot their Zoroark, put ourselves down to 2 prize cards, and had this second Spidops remaining in the back so they couldn't kill it like they are right now. So because we didn't do that, we lose. There, we do find the energy to be able to attack if we were able to. Here we get the Wobbuffet, doesn't really matter, and I just concede. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more. I post new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. So without further ado, have a good day.